this one isn't a thin beam, so I'm going to do it like that. Now I've got a nice sharp pencil, I can show it off. And then right underneath it, with the 175, which I know now is nice and sharp, I'm going to put a shadow underneath there. Now there's another pulley on the end of here. We put that on. Now, before I do this next bit, I've got to do just a little bit more repair work here. As I said before, this has got to be done freehand because we can't put a straight edge on that. It comes into there. Then there's another one. Now, if we get clever, what we can do here, we can go there and then we can do that. That looks a little bit more design there. See, isn't that clever? The boat is exactly the same as the rigging and the sails. We've got to get to the dark as quickly as we can, so we don't want to put too much light on. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the grey 233, and what I don't want to do with this is press too hard because I've got quite a lot of colour to go on. What will be a problem though, folks, is that I'm going to do the same with that, but I'll lose it. So therefore we do something to make sure that we don't lose it. Now I'm going to use 175 here, because I'm probably going to use it in the boat. Basically I'm going to make it a wooden boat. Well, they're wooden boats, which means it's going to be greyish brown. I'm on the tail end of the grey now. Just notice a couple of things I've done. Now I've also decided what colour to use, and the colour I've chosen is 179. We haven't used 179 yet, but that doesn't mean to say we can't add a colour if it's necessary, and I think 179 would be a good colour to use. It's very earthy brown. So I'm going to do this one on this side. I'm just going to blend that in because I do need it to be softened so that it goes into the paper. I'll then get a better idea of what that would look like if it's left. Now the dark colour. Now we've got to go dark now. So I've got really, what I want to do is to go two colours. I don't want to use 175. I don't think I'm going to use the brown. So I'm going to use 177. Having the grey underneath there stops these browns from being too rich, which is exactly what I'm looking for. You see, that's a really good colour. That's great. Now I don't think I need anything other than maybe there's some black on there now. Some black in here. Just one more experiment while we're here. I'm just going to blend that very lightly in so that we lose the texture of the paper, like that. And then I'm going to try something else. I want to try some colour in there. Now which one do I use? 186 is too strong. Let's try 283 and see if it does work. Yeah, that'll work. It's not all over, it's just make it a slight variation of colour. That's it, that's probably all I want. Now the difficulty here is we've also got a lot of it, so we can't just make it a block like we can with that. So I'm going to put some more colour in it too. I'm going to put some ochre in it. And then what we do is we better 179 is the colour we're using, wasn't it? Yep. So 179. Go in. Now, just on that very edge, I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to darken that yet. And that gives us that earth look. And this is where I can just start filling it into that area, because I want that to be slightly lighter there, an edge of it. Now the next thing we're going to do is to use the 177. So that's it, but basically it's the same as that, but I've added a few little extra little extra bits that we can maybe we can experiment a little bit with this as well. That's a little bit of 186. Let's see how we go. And down the bottom will almost certainly be very much darker, so we can use black. Right, now we've got the 177 to go on. Trying to think of this as being all made up of planks of wood. Down here will be darker. Now that's going to be dark. But what I want to do is I want to put some 283 in as well. A little bit of 283 here, which I liked. If we put the black under there, that's going to create the depth that we need. And then, but best do this in short bursts rather than try to finish in one go, because very often you look at it and you think, I'll leave that little bit of light there, or I'll make that darker. That's got to be subdued a little bit because it's a little too strong, but because we put it in black, we'll stay there. Maybe, let's just see whether this works. A little bit of the 186 could go back in. A lot of freedom with this. You can go in with anything you want. Now, for some reason, I like the light that's coming under there. See that area of light? I like that. But I do like the idea of having some light there. Now, this is not going to show up that well at the moment because we haven't got anything underneath it. But once we have, I can promise you it's going to look great. A touch of light grey too there. Now, I'll see what that looks like a little later on, but at the moment I quite favour now. This is ivory. Now, you wouldn't think you could get any ivory on there, would you? But sometimes it just works to put a little highlight in. That's it, finished. I'm not going to touch it again. Now we've got the boats in, which I think you'll agree look pretty stunning, especially against this lovely backdrop. I'll pull away a little bit more so you can see it better. Now we've got to look at the beach. Now the beach will be done before the little people. So this is the very next thing we're going to do. Extend this down, but there's lots and lots and lots of interest in the beach. There's little puddles in here, for instance, which I shall be doing. And a little bit of white goes in there. I'll show you what I mean. A little bit of white, a little bit of where the tide has brought the water in. It hasn't escaped little bits like that. Great. Anyway, I'll come back in a moment with all the colours and we'll start building the beach up.